Hello everyone who's watching. I'm Sarah. I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. I'm gonna talk about books that I read in February. February wasn't my best reading month, but the books that I read I really liked. I really liked all of them, so this was a great reading month overall. In terms of the amount of books I read 9 books, but one you can't really count as a book because it was a 50-page novella, but still I count it towards my reading goal, you know? It's decent. Like, don't compare yourself to me. Like, when I say, oh, 8 books, that's not a lot. For me, that's not a lot because some months I read 15 books. Last month I read 15 books. So that is half of what I read this month. So that is why for me, this is not a lot. But maybe for other people, 1 book is an accomplishment. And you know, that's fine too. I don't care. Read whatever you want. How much you want? I don't care. So I'm going to talk about the books that I read in February. In terms of what kinds of books I read 3 physical books and 6 ebooks because I'm in my e-reader phase. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just hits the spot every single time. And all of the books were romances. One was a paranormal romance, but a romance nonetheless. So let's talk about them. I started the month off really great with the read that I gave 3.75 stars, which doesn't sound that spectacular, but it is at the same time because this book got me into a lot of other books. It's The Doctor by Nikki Sloan. I hadn't read any Nikki Sloan books prior to reading this one. I wasn't planning on ever reading this actually. I was just like, okay, let's dip my toes into this book, you know, and I ended up enjoying it. So basically the premise of the story is there's a girl, Cassidy. She is the main character of this book. She has a boyfriend. That boyfriend starts acting kind of dickish. They start drifting apart. She decides to break up with him. And after she breaks up with him, she gets with his dad. And it's spicy, as you obviously already guessed by just that description. It's a spicy book. It's very smutty, so if you don't like smut-heavy books, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this book, but I still felt like it was like a great combination of a love story and at the same time really fucking smutty, you know? I really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend if you want to read a smutty book, just like palate cleanser, you know, after reading all those high fantasies. So yeah, really recommend. After that, this is the reason why it was a great start to the month. Right after that, I picked up The Pool Boy, the 2nd book in the series, and I gave that 4.25 stars. I don't know what it was. I was expecting to go into this and kind of hate it. I don't know why, because I enjoyed The Doctor just fine, but something about The Pool Boy just hit the spot. Like, it hit right at the mark, you know, I loved it. This is kind of more concerning than the ex-boyfriend's dad trope, in my opinion, which, yeah, how can that get any more concerning? But at the same time, it is more concerning to me, but I still really enjoyed it. I like taboo books. I like books that are wrong if it happened in real life, but in books, it's fun. This book follows a boy. He's the pool boy of this woman, Erica. I forgot his name actually, but I remember her name is Erica. She has this pool, obviously. She has this ex-husband and he gets caught with his pants down with another man. So she divorces him. Now she has this whole house to herself. She hires a pool boy and that pool boy has a secret crush on her. And they get together eventually. Well, very fast, like in chapter 4 or something like that. I don't know, but it was fun. Also, this pool boy, he's her best friend's son. Yeah, it's very wrong. Like in real life, this would be a huge no-go, but they're both consenting adults. So, does that make it right? No, but does that make it legal? Yes. So next book is The Architect. I didn't enjoy this as much because I felt like this was too smut heavy and it didn't really have any plot at all. So I didn't really like that. Like, I still want some kind of plot. I like a character study just fine, but it still needs some kind of substance to it. And I feel like this book was just pure smut through that conflict. And then we moved on, you know. I give this one 3.75 stars. I enjoyed The Doctor more, but The Architect is still a 3.75 star read. Then I read The Frat Boy, and in my review I wrote that I was literally obsessed with the series, and I still am. I still think about it. I read this at the beginning of the month. I read the whole series in 11 days, but I still think about them. Like, I'm obsessed. So The Frat Boy follows a frat boy. And he kind of has like a fight with this girl because they kind of ruined some competition. They get kicked out of their fraternity houses and then they both start doing porn. but they don't know that about each other, you know? So they get on set and then they meet each other and they have to do a scene together, which is really fucking hard, let me tell you. This was such a cool concept. Like, this was so different from anything I have ever read before. I really enjoyed this, would definitely recommend. To me, this may be the best book in the series, plot-wise and smut-wise, because the smut was just really fucking hot. And then the last one in the series is The Good Girl by Nikki Sloan. Goddamn, I already said that. This follows kind of a different title because all the previous titles were like career paths and such. And then like the frat boy, it's not really a career, but it's something that you are kind of, and you're in a fraternity, whatever. And The Good Girl's like change of topics real quick. But this was fun as well. I rated this 4 stars. This was such a fun read. This is about Preston, and I forgot her name, but Preston is the son of the guy in the first book. So he gets his redemption arc, and good for me because I really enjoyed his redemption arc. It was such a fun read. Not my favorite in the series because that is the pool boy. I don't know what it is. Like, I heard people say that the pool boy was their least favorite. To me, it's my favorite. I don't know. Don't blame me. It's like kind of, I've seen this plot before. It's like the good girl turning bad or trying some things out because she's under her parents' restriction, you know, that kind of sort of thing. I definitely recommend this series. I just love it. I just talked a long time about one series, but it's okay. Next book we have is Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. This is a news release. I have read all of Ellie Hazelwood's books once again. The last book she released, I think that was Love Theoretically, and I've read that like 2 weeks after it released. I don't even know. Sometime after it released. Really loved it. And then I realized, oh, I've read all of Ellie Hazelwood's books. That's good. So Bride. This is the one that I think I enjoyed the least of all of the books that I've read by her so far because she's releasing more. And Bride sets up for a really good continuation story following different characters, which I'm really excited about. I was kind of shocked because some people said, yeah, this is like a setup for a new book in the same series, you know, like this is standalone right now, but it will probably become a series with different characters, like interconnected standalones. But that's fun. And I completely agree with them, but I didn't expect this to happen, and it was a turn that I really liked. It wasn't necessary, but it was very fun. So this is about Low and Misery. It's arranged marriage, which I love. I love like forced marriage, arranged marriage, like marriage of convenience, whatever, all that stuff. Top tier, you know? This was my first test out to see if I liked the Omegaverse universe, you know? And I do. Okay, we got interrupted because my best friend just called and he was in a panic, by the way. He was like, what the fuck is happening to Instagram? Our own picture's gone and stuff. And then I went on Instagram and it just turned out that the Instagram didn't work. So no need to worry, Michael. The next book is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the 3rd and final installment into the Knockabout series. I liked the couple in this book the best, I think. Sometimes I was like, it went from this to there. But other times I was like, oh, this is really sweet, this is really cute, I really like it. Things Lucian does for her mother, love. That has me swooning, you know? This series follows different characters, by the way. So first book is about Knox and Noemi, second book Nash and Lena, and this book is Lucian and Sloane. It's also enemies to lovers. They were friends back when they were kids, back when they were in high school, I think. But then they turned enemies for a reason that you'll find out when reading this book. Then I have my first ever Melanie Harlow book, which is Runaway Love. This was a really fun read. This is a runaway bride story, and I didn't think I would like the runaway bride trope. Is it a trope? The thing that happens where she runs away. I did like it in this book. I don't know. I just liked it. It was fun. I do see future me maybe giving another Melanie Harlow book higher than 4 stars. Because this was so effing cute. Like, I really enjoyed this. It was such an easy book to get through. Really enjoyed this, would definitely recommend. There were some parts where I was like, okay, this is kind of cringy. Like, this cringing me out. I don't like this per se. But I could get over that. Overall, it was a good book. I really liked the writing style, even though it was cliche at parts. Also, I didn't really understand why the girl in this book, Veronica, got with the ex in the first place that she ran away from. Because, girl, what did you see in him? He was such a dick. And then on the day of your wedding, you're like, okay, yeah, this is my breaking point. Like, I understand why it's your breaking point, but why didn't you see it sooner? the last book, I won't talk too much about it because it's a little novella of 50 pages, like it was so easy to get through. But it's also for Nikki Sloan. It Takes Two, and this is part of the Blind Folk Club series. It's another series that she wrote before the Nashville Neighborhood series, which I read this month. I really enjoyed this book. I give it 3 stars because I don't feel like I could rate a novella higher than 3 stars because we don't get like a full story, a full character development, full plot. It was just like one scene, 2 scenes, and then the end, you know? This was about Nina and Scott, and Nina and Scott were seen. They were like kind of the agents of the characters in The Frat Boy, and they shoot a porn scene together in this book. I really like that. It did go by kind of fast, too fast in my opinion. Like the second they were having sex, the next day we were like, okay, we're in love after one day. And it was just kind of too Disney-like for me, you know? So those were all the books. 9 books in total. I really enjoyed my reading month last month. And I hope March can be as fun of a month, as good of a month. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe I'll see you next time. So bye. Oh, that was so awkward. Bye.